Okay, I don't think I did a video. I'll let people know that I moved back in my car. If you haven't already met me, that's where I'm living right now. I moved back into my car. I had lived in my car when I got laid off from my teaching job. I just lost all my housing and I had to move into my car. So I moved back into my car. Fast forward, like 10 years later, I decided to move back into my car. And it's going pretty well. But then I had a setback. Something as simple as a battery being replaced became a huge problem. Became a huge problem because I didn't have any extra money. Um, and I'm working on this magazine project, and I was putting a lot of energy into that just to survive. I'm just making enough to survive. I still sell the street paper, and I've been driving for Lyft, and I couldn't do that. So my income got a little funny, and normally I go back and forth to my storage, but look, I can't do that now because look what a mess it is in here. But I still am firmly convinced that people need to use their cars to move into, if their housing gets a little, janky or whatever. You know, the landlord goes up on the rent. Um, you have a little setback at your work. If you can make it through that lease, if you can make it, this is a best case scenario. I mean, you don't want to wait till you have to move into your car. If you can make it through that lease and pay it off so your credit's not affected, you don't have evictions, that's the best case scenario. Find research places where you can go, and I'm going to try to let you know on here that you can go and you can actually feel safe. A lot of people park around the Planet Fitnesses. I'm in Michigan. The Myers, Walmart. There are different places where you're not really going to be harassed by the management. Now, that doesn't mean that people won't harass you, but and it's sort of subtle. There's this one guy that's just crazy. I don't know if he's around anymore. He would just look for people to talk about him and show him up on his YouTube channel. But for the most part, there are places where you can sleep and you can make your car so that it's suitable for you to sleep. Families have slept in cars. Families. And I probably wouldn't recommend it for too long a time. Now, I had to sleep in my car for 3 years, so I kind of know some tips about sleeping in your car. But if you just have to stack a little bit because you can't afford that lease, get up and shower at the gym, eat at cafes, it can happen, and it's going to be much less expensive. And if you still got your job, then money's not really going to be a problem, and you're going to save a lot more. This is one reason, and I'm not going to talk about any others. I'm just going to focus on that one. If your lease runs out and they go up on your rent, try moving your car for 5 or 6 months, 3 months, whatever you can manage. Save a little bit, and then make some decisions from there. Now, there are other reasons why I think people should consider living in their car. Van is perfect. SUVs are good. We're coming into a different world. We are not tied to our property as much as we have been in the past. Even if you're, and I'm not going to get into your mortgage being a foreclosure or anything, because that kind of forces you to look at other options. But if you are in a house and you're in an apartment, this doesn't work for people with mortgages. I'm against mortgages because now you've got that, you're tied to it. You're chained to that mortgage. You don't want it. I don't want that. I just want the freedom. If I can afford to pay for 3 months, go back to my vehicle, 4 months, whatever. I'm not trying to get even 12 months. Sometimes it's hard for me. But if you've got enough and you can pay half of it off or whatever, if you've got a good job, then, that is something that you should really consider. There are many, many, many people living in their car. I think you should plan, because if you don't, it can be very dangerous. Especially in cold climates and hot climates. Because if you don't have air, if you don't have all the proper things to keep you going, like your gas, your maintenance, that can become a problem as well. So I'm talking about planned moving. Now, there are also suggestions for people who have to live in their car. Some people don't have any other alternative. Most people reach that point. Most people reach the point where you don't have any alternative, and some very horrible things have happened to people who don't have. But I think you should make a conscious decision, plan it out, and say, I'm going to move into my van, move into my car, move into whatever for a certain amount of time, save a little bit, and then go back into, the apartment living or whatever it is. I don't suggest a mortgage. If you're in a mortgage, I'll talk about that later. But for now, I'm talking about planned living. I'm sorry I didn't really get a chance to outline anything, but I'm just dropping this. I'm just dropping some suggestions, and I hope that they will help you. All right, this is Let's Talk. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. If you got value out of this video, please like it, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.